From Georgia Tech Physics. I'm a co-chair together with Jordan Gerton from the University of Utah. And you are here at the press box in Bobby Dodd Stadium overlooking historic Grant Field, which lays claim to being the oldest football field in Division I college football, although I think we have folks from Texas A&M who may quibble with that claim. But the point is that we're here for a purpose, and the purpose is to help each of you put together a plan that advances the state of your current professional development program for your graduate students around that very important professional role of being a teaching assistant. Okay? This is the fourth of these workshops. It's received a lot of support from a number of people. I want to make sure, a number of organizations. I want to make sure I call those out. It was originally sponsored by the Research Corporation for Scientific Advancement through the Cottrell Scholars Program. It's supported now through NSF, as well as from contributions from University of Utah and Georgia Tech. And it's also been supported by the our physics and chemistry societies, the American Chemical Society, American Association of Physics Teachers, and the American Physical Society. So this is as I mentioned, the fourth of these workshops. So this has been you'll be the beneficiaries of a number of iterations of offering this workshop to something like 60 or more teams in the past. And the key to helping you advance or develop this action plan are our world-class facilitators. So I'd like to just take a moment to introduce each of those in turn. So start over here to the far right from the Florida contingent. We have Justin Carmel from Florida International University Chemistry. We have Jackie Cheney from the University of Central Florida Physics. In the center, we have Emily Alicea Munoz from Georgia Tech Physics, who is actually a facilitator, AV coordinator, just completely all around awesome, like makes this workshop happen. So it's really benefit from that. And then from the frigid north, we have our University of Minnesota Physics contingent. We have Ken Heller and Kaylee Ganser. So we have really a lot of expertise here that I really encourage you to draw upon and take full advantage of as we progress through this 2.5-day workshop. Just a few things I'm going to talk about or ask about logistics. So anything you have logistical, so we've had some issues of some folks connecting to the internet. We have a plan B. EduRoam is the default, and almost all of your institutions claim they support that for your internet connectivity, but apparently there's some number of you that are having difficulties. We have an alternate path. If you haven't spoken to us already about connecting or setting up an account, come see me and we will make that happen. But if there's any logistical issues that pop up anytime during this workshop, come see either myself or Jordan right off the bat, and we'll help you figure out a solution. Okay? All right, so let me just start out by just taking you through a sort of lightning introduction of what's going to happen in the workshop over the next couple days. So we're just basically going to just flash through this program. So the idea, the workshop is structured in such a way that there are interleaving of presentations with time to work on your action plans. Okay, and so that motif repeats itself throughout the workshop. The first day, today, the key thing is sort of the big picture. So the focus is on what you would like to see in terms of your design of your plan, or to have put together a plan that sort of design how you would like to see that plan unfold, as well as how you would go about assessing the grand plan that you have in mind. So those are the first day focuses on that. The second day, we'll have now more emphasis on, I would say, the nitty-gritty, dealing with issues arising in whatever settings in which TAs in your institution operate, whether it's laboratories or recitations, or they're in class, like inquiry, or they're flipped classroom, they're in the classroom, but basically focusing on those sorts of issues. That includes work on facilitating group work. There's an important aspect of the notion of teaching assistants and their identity. So this is from psychological research, this notion of the difference between just teaching or being a teacher, being a teaching assistant, having that sort of grounding one's actions in one's identity has an important role. So we have a session on that. As well as some sessions on teaching in the laboratory. So, and also sharing from the University of Minnesota, which has a lot of experience on how to go about structuring TA support at one's institution. Again, all these interlead with time for reflection. I should say you're organized in a particular way. We have you grouped in what we call pods. There are 5 groupings. And the folks that you're working with, you're going to see them all day today and actually get back with them at the end of the workshop. But the way we're going to get feedback and help also each other develop our action plans is by sharing those within our pods, where together with a facilitator to help make the plans better, help evolve them, get ideas, get feedback as you develop the plans. And then the final day is basically focused on wrapping up the action plan and reporting out. So that's the overview. I know, Jordan, do you want to say something more about details on the action plan?
Yeah, and then we better get going.
Yeah.
Welcome. I echo Mike and everything that he said. Welcome. Thank you for coming here and for committing to this work. Thanks, Mike. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is, yes, as Mike said, that you're organized into pods. So the first thing I want to do really quick is to sort of point out who your pod facilitators are. So pod 1 here, this is Justin Carmel. He'll be your pod facilitator for today. 2, I think this is me. Yes, this is me. So I've got you folks. 3, this is Emily. 4, that is the Minnesota group, Ken and Kaylee. And then back there, pod 5 is Mike and Jackie. Okay. So what we would, so one of the things I wanted to say is that the action plan is really meant to be tuned, obviously, toward your departmental context. So we have a lot of variety in where you all are in your TA professional development programs. Some of you already have pretty sophisticated programs and you're looking to take a next important step or do something that is maybe more sophisticated or complicated, maybe more extended. Some of you may have almost no formal professional development program in your institution, and that is completely okay. We don't have a particular model that we're trying to push. That's not what this is about. We're really to help you wrap your mind around this as in your institutional context, to set your own goals, to set your own ways of assessing those goals, and to create a customized action plan that you can then bring back to your institution and, for example, pitch to your department chair, all of whom wrote you letters of support to get here. So I just want to remind you that all of them wrote down words that said something like, I will commit to doing what I can to implement this action plan. This is your one chance to actually get something out of your department chair. It's written down, okay? Nobody's committed any money or anything like that. You also know that. But they have expressed a commitment to helping to implement what you come up with, and you really want to take advantage of that opportunity, okay? And so that's what this work is about. I should say that as Mike kind of went through the program, the first day we really want you to be reflective. We want you to be aspirational. We'll give you a little bit of chance to think about things like risk. Some people may interpret that as barriers, that we're not really thinking about it that way, but we want you to be realistic, but we want you to be aspirational on this first day. And then you'll have plenty of time to kind of think and ruminate about the realities of your institutional context and how that's going to inform your plan. Okay, but we want your plans to be as detailed as they can be, as realistic as they can be, aspirational, And everybody's is going to look different because everybody's at a different place. Everybody has different needs. Okay? Any questions about any of that? All right, so for the next 45 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some three little, I want to call them exercises, but we're going to sort of divide the next 45 minutes into 3 chunks. Your pod facilitators will be sitting with you and helping to listen and provide feedback and facilitate. And what we're going to start with, the first 15 minutes, is for you as in your starting off in your departmental teams, is to think about and then discuss for a few minutes what are your goals for this workshop, okay? And you all wrote about that. The TAs and the faculty members of your team didn't always agree about what that looked like. And that's normal, and we see that every year. So part of this is to help you work through those things and kind of try to get on the same page. Like, why are you here? Okay, then we'll transition to, I'll give you all, we'll sort of stop you momentarily to kind of move on to the next thing in about 15 minutes, okay? So facilitators, please go meet up with your groups, and in about 15 minutes, we'll transition. Thanks. How do you turn this off, Mike? Just the button? Just this button? And then this one you don't need anymore either.
Yeah. So that's on mute now. So
This is on mute?
No. There's three levels on this. This is like the no light is off.
Okay.
Solid light is on, and flashing is mute.
Oh, this was off the whole time, by the way. Maybe that was just the background. I don't know how to turn this off.